Well, good evening, everybody, or as good as it could be after a Chiefs game. That being said, welcome to the Denver Bronco Roundup. I am your host. My name is Keith Brugman. We've got three of the four horsemen with you. I got my good friend Trevor Salzman. He's the Rocket Man. I got Albert Mile High on the Denver Broncos, Dutchie, ready to rock and roll. And without further ado, our special guest, man, the stepfather himself, the one, the only, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick. I'm going to start off with you, Kenny. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for inviting me on. Self-invited myself. I asked Keith if, available Tuesday if you want me on, but I'd love to come on and give an outside perspective on certain shows. And I think this one would be a really good one to give you guys an outside perspective and the posse as well. And hello to the posse, my fellow posse members out there.
Yeah. You're usually out there rocking with the posse, giving us great questions. I'm always feeling like I don't get to Kenny Kirkpatrick enough. Well, now he gets to share the screen with us, so look out. You never know what's possible. But I got to say hello to, like I said, Albert Mile High on the Denver Broncos, Dutchie himself. How you doing, Albert, this evening?
I'm doing very well. Even although it was a loss for me, it was a win because we beaten the Chiefs fair and square, and the blocked field goal. Emotionally and mentally, it was a win for me, and we let the Chiefs know that they are in whole NFL that the Chiefs are a beatable team.
Yes, you had him right there, man. I was trying to clean up the crusty, nasty mess out of the corner of my mouth as I was getting sick before I went live last time with Mr. Trevor Salzman because of this loss, man. But I do think we put the NFL, the Chiefs, the AFC West on notice in some ways. I'm going to put you on notice because Trevor Salzman, the Rocket Man, he can take off. Take off right now, sir. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, Keith. Thank you, Kenny, again for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you, as always, and always a pleasure to have Albert on as well. But yeah, again, tough loss against the Chiefs, but now it's time to wash it away. You have a long season to go, still plenty of time, and you have to take care of business against the Falcons. This is a nice learning experience for the Denver Broncos, as in the past they haven't been in too many of these clutch games in the past, so close games like this. So I think it's a good learning experience for this team, and just live and learn and on to the Falcons.
Very good. Got our good friend Scott Sigley coming in here saying it's Tuesday night in Broncos country, and we are ready to win. Ready to win with the posse, man. You guys always coming in here strong. Love you guys so much. I know one person that loves this commenter probably more than anybody else. Woot woot, evening, gents, because Michelle Knoppers. Go ahead, give a little wave to your sweetie there. I saw that there, Albert. That's awesome, buddy. Ernie Mays coming in here saying, go Broncos country only. Bo Nix for 6, and Trevor picks the Falcons, and we lose again. Feisty Ernie Mays and Trevor, man. I'd like to get them in the arena. Match them up like we have Mike Tyson going off against Jake Paul here very soon. So Graham's giving us a big salute. Roy Osborne saying, hey there, horsemen and the posse, and nice to see you, Kenny.
Good to see you too, Roy.
Paul's also giving us the big old mile high salute and saying, what's up, people? Graham says, first question, I guess. My cousin asked me, should we start Knicks in fantasy this week? No other great options. I'll go just quickly around the horn. And I know that both Kenny and Trevor are big into fantasy. So, you're tied up against it. Would you be going out there and starting Knicks? Kenny, I'll go with you. You're the guest.
I would, Graham, unless if Tua is out there, if he's available, I would pick him up over Knicks. They got more weapons in Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. So if Tua is available, yes. If he's not available, roll with Knicks against the Falcons.
I'll go up to Trevor, a fellow fantasy guy himself. What do you think? A Knicks a good option as you go out here against the Atlanta Falcons this week?
Yeah, it's hard to know because I don't know what other options are out there on the market and in that league. So I would say, I mean, yeah, I think Nick's getting a solid 15 probably for you. So depends on what your rest of your roster looks like and who's available. But yeah, I mean, I would at least take a shot at them, and I would recommend just looking at Atlanta's defense and seeing what they are against the passing game and against the running game, and then go from there. But yeah, I mean, I think Nick's is pretty solid in fantasy, and he can run. He's mobile, so that definitely helps as well.
There you go. Do I dare even ask, Albert? Would you go with Knicks in your fantasy team?
If I would play fantasy, absolutely.
I knew it. I know you're not a big fantasy guy, but I know he's a Bo Lever and Bo Nix. That's for sure. Just like this gentleman, Michael Ronquillo, coming in here, dropping stars, kicking us off, saying, "Good evening, Keith, Albert, Trevor, and Kenny. Go Bo Broncos, orange and blue hearts, mile high salute, dropping 100 stars, man. Appreciate you so much." Our good friend Pearl saying hello to everyone. And let's see, I want to run through some of these comments. Our good friend Phil dropping stars saying, "Evening, Keith, Rockaman, Dutchie, and guest Kenny, ready to move on and go on a run." We're going to be probably talking about that here in just a little bit. Our good friend Jeremy Dressler coming in saying, "Sup, fellas, go Broncos. I believe the NFL gods, we will get ours." I like that, man. Karma is a weird and funny thing. And it feels like karma kind of cheated us there in Kansas City. I was thinking about this right before we went on. It would be like a perfect scenario. They're laying down at the end of the year. We end up beating them at the last game of the season, Kansas City Chiefs, and then lo and behold, for some reason, we end up matching up with them again and just see what happens. I would love that scenario. Mark Calderio saying, "Good evening, guys. What is going on?" Travis Johnson coming in here and saying, "So nobody is questioning not trying to throw to the end zone at least once, considering we did move the ball on that final drive. You play to win the game." Fantastic quote, by the way, Travis. I think that kicks us right off, Kenny. I'm going to leave this comment up on the screen because I think we can dive into it on two different ways. One, I just want to say this. We're all human. We're all real people. And I see a lot of diskindness, I'll say, towards Alex Forsyth. Alex Forsyth was key in that field goal getting blocked. But Kenny, we do need to talk about it, man. You wanted to talk about it. You brought it to the agenda. I had it like completely blocked out of my brain that it even happened because that traumatizing to me. Kenny, I'm going to start off with you. Alex Forsyth, the block field goal, his blocking method, and should he have been on the field? Those are all questions that you really brought to the table. I'll let you run with them, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, also Jody, who's not here tonight, him and I were chatting back and forth, sending photos, so still photos. For those who don't know, field goal was blocked because Alex Forsyth was laying on his back. He got completely destroyed by the Chiefs, that the two guys that were over him. And with Jody telling me that's not the first time that's happened to him. So, your blocking method is not working, but I have a more concern with the coaching staff, who you don't have anybody better that can block in a meaningful spot like this to win a game, a 35-yard field goal. That is unacceptable. You can't have a guy out there that's a liability that's going to end up on his back. Teams are going to catch up on this. Don't be surprised if Alex Forsyth's out there again, that you see this happen again. It should have never happened. You practice nonstop. You're a backup lineman that you're in there for one thing and one thing only, and that's to block on field goals. And he can't do that. You need to be off the field. I blame the coaching staff and not Alex Forsyth. Alex Forsyth is getting too much of the blame here. Coaching staff should have seen this is not the guy to put out there. We need somebody else out there.
Yeah, I mean, something that the Kansas City Chiefs may have seen on tape. I watched the first extra point field goal attempt that he was out there. They didn't even rush him. And then they He did the same thing twice before that last field goal attempt, where he just was willing to let guys run over him, almost tempting them to be like, hey, you have to run all the way over the top of my body in order to get to a block, which is pretty difficult to do. Trevor, what is your assessment? Now I'll go to Albert as well on this. Alex Forsythe, the coaches, the last moments field goal attempt blocked. You know, I mean, what are your thoughts on all of this, sir?
Yeah, I mean, it's not on Alex Forsythe, and it's not on that field goal attempt. You had a minute 46 in this game. You had 2 timeouts. The Chiefs took their last timeout. Why are we turning around the clock down and be conservative? You have a quarterback that just threw 2 touchdowns in this game. Why aren't you trying to score a touchdown or drive have the drive continue? Why are we just trying to run out the clock there? I understand why Sean Payton's doing that, but it's just like, if you want to make a statement in Kansas City against the Chiefs, be aggressive doing it. I'd rather that happen than be conservative. And then let's still kick a field goal. I understand the meaning behind it. If you want to trust in your rookie quarterback, why don't you let him drive down the field and score a touchdown to win you the game? Why are we trying to be conservative and run out the clock and then kick the field goal? I just think that there was more time there to do more offensively on that last drive that was left out there on the field that this team didn't capitalize on. Sean Payton didn't capitalize on, in my opinion. You were moving the ball, just like Travis was saying. I agree with Travis here. You're moving the football. Then you start getting very conservative on that last drive. I just think there was more room there to be made where you could have maybe scored a touchdown and still you had the clock tick down and not give Mahomes enough time to drive down the field. I just think there was still more left out there that could have been made for this Broncos offense, and maybe you do score a touchdown there. I know that the downside of that is maybe Bo Nix throws an interception. But again, he's played well in this game. He was arguably your star on offensively once again this week. Give him a little bit, let that leash kind of go a little bit. Give him the confidence and show him that you have the confidence in him to drive down the football field and score a touchdown against a really good defense that he's played well against for most of the day.
Albert, there's opportunities all up and down throughout the game to maybe win this game, but it did come down to the end. Travis is stating his point as far as you play to win the game. We should have maybe put it in there. Trevor's saying the exact same thing. I'm not going to ignore Kenny, man, because what happened and the coaches and the field goal and Alex Forsythe all needs to be talked about. I'll let you pick it up. I'll let you run with it. What do you got to say on all this?
It's a complication of several factors. Alex Forsythe, coaching, and the Chiefs know how to win. And they knew what they needed to do. They took advantage of every situation in that area. You could see that they were forcing that side because they lined up 6 linemen on that side. You know where the pressure was coming from. So why not adjust to it? And that's all what it is about. And they didn't, and they were able to block the field goal. Kudos to them because they saw an opening and they used it. And the Broncos need to be better about it. And in certain areas, we have seen multiple questionable coaching situations, and this was one of them. So, yeah.
Keith, I just want to add one thing when
you're
finished. I have no problem with the Broncos going for the field goal instead of the touchdown. 35-yard field goal is an extra point. How many extra points have you missed this year? Not many. And if we watch the Chiefs-Texans game, that game was tied. The Lions-Texans game, rather. The Lions were okay kicking a 52-yard field goal to win the game instead of going to overtime, instead of trying to drive with their offense. 35-yard field goal. Knicks got them where they needed to be to win the game. It would have been a win. 17-16, it would have been a win. I have no problem with that because if Bo Nix makes a mistake, I think everybody's ripping apart Sean Payton and Bo Nix for throwing an interception, or if there was a fumble, everybody would be on that blame game that, this guy threw an interception, fumble. He got him in winning position. 35-yard field goal should be made. Got to be fixed on the line there because that's where the problem is. And that's the problem I have is the special teams coach and staff and the head coach not seeing that Alex Forsythe shouldn't be out on that field in that situation.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know what's up with the coaching, the idea, the principle. It seemed like it was something that he's relied on almost because of the way that he was consistently doing it throughout the game. But coaching needs to fix that. That being said, I'm right on board with Travis. I'm right on board with Trevor. We go ahead and we run the ball for a better hash mark and then end up calling a timeout. You have every opportunity to go, Bo, we're going back corner. If it's not there, throw it over his head. We're hoisting one up to Cortland. Whatever. You have an opportunity. Why take a quarterback and offense that's been doing very well against a top-tier defense and say, no, you guys sit down. You guys, take kind of a back seat and just go ahead and kneel on the ball for all intents and purposes. We're going to bring out a guy and a crew that we only rely on 5 to 7 times a game. No, at least take that one shot. At least because, like you said, Kenny, if it's a 35-yard field goal, the hash mark shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter one bit or another. You have that opportunity to run out the time, run out the ball still after the fact if you really want to. It's okay. But my goodness, to not I wish we would have had that opportunity. I wish I would have seen that opportunity to maybe go ahead and put that touchdown on the board. It's always easy to be, Monday morning quarterback. But in retrospect, just maybe a wasted opportunity and a wasted opportunity where you just got a little bit too conservative at the end. But I'm 100% agreement, Kenny. We need to go ahead and we need to look at this coaching staff and say, A, how are they coaching him? Or B, why is he out there? And we need to make some corrections. If not, this is going to be an issue all season long. So,
just the final thing for me, Keith. I apologize. 5 seconds. And I'm not trying to get anybody.
No, you're good.
Jump in and get the last word, please do. You would have left Mahomes time on the clock if you score a touchdown. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you could have.
We've seen that script before. What happens with Mahomes to give him 30 seconds and he can win a game. So I'm not sure. You know me. I'm not Sean Payton's fan. I think in my opinion, I think that I'm okay with that decision going for the field goal there, running the clock out.
And real quick, Keith, if I can quickly chime in, I was just going to say you have a minute 46, and the Broncos have all the leverage right there. The Chiefs have no timeouts. You can still move the football and still be conservative while doing it and run the time down. And I don't know about you guys, but I still like Denver's chances on defense of stopping Patrick Mahomes, even if you do score a touchdown a little earlier, because they were up in Patrick Mahomes' face all day long. Yes. I mean, I know it's Patrick Mahomes, but he's not Lamar Jackson. I mean, this defense was giving him trouble all day. So I still would take that risk of letting my defense go out there and close the game out once my offense was being aggressive enough and scored a touchdown. Now, of course, you want to let that time take down as much as possible, but I just think there was just a lot more left on the field that I would have loved to see Sean Payton be aggressive there with your rookie quarterback. Really show him you have confidence in him. Let him lead this team downfield and score a touchdown against Kansas City Chiefs. That, in my opinion, is how you get a culture-changing win on the road in Kansas City for the first time in 7 opportunities? 8 opportunities?
Yeah.
Or matchups in Kansas City. So,
yeah. Yep, I'm right there with you, Trevor. But I'm going to lead Albert right into this $50 $50. I mean, that would be nice too. But 50 stars coming in from Phil. He says it makes no sense that some coach in the booth or on the field didn't see that overload on the side and call a timeout to adjust. He also mentions, and I know that you have a little bit of information on this, that Coach Mike Westhoff did quit today for some medical reasons. Why don't you just talk about Mike Westhoff? And I know that you're already on board with seeing those 6 guys on one side. Some coach should have seen it, could have called a timeout. You can give your thoughts on that as well. But Albert, what are your thoughts, Westhoff and the overload?
Yeah, Mike Westhoff, he had trouble focusing on his eyes were not working properly, and he did some testing, and it most likely has to do something with some brain issues. So that's why he is requiring. He had a big photo with the family, and now he is taking care of his health and what he is supposed to do. Brain injuries are not something that you want to be playing around with. You want to take care of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike Westhoff, just an amazing man. I know that the K&K Sports Show even have a little bit of a relationship over there, and maybe someday we can get him on the K&K Sports Show, but health is necessary. Mike Westhoff, I believe, changed everything that we saw as far as special teams. We were once a defunct unit, and him coming back this year and dedicating his time. Thank you, Mike Westhoff. I want you to get better. We'll pick up in the interim while you're gone, and if you ever want to come back in the door, I'm leaving the door open. I don't know if they're willing to, but I'm certainly willing to leave that door open. I'm sure they are as well. So, best of just thoughts and with you as health is the most important, but absolutely. Hey, we need to move on from this field goal debacle that was the end of the game. Overall, I'll kick it off here. Bo Nix, 22 of 30, 2 TDs, was really out there dealing. And I was thinking about this, man. I mean, we are just so lucky to see a quarterback out there competing against the Kansas City Chiefs the way he is as a rookie. And maybe this leads it right down the pathway, but I want to get just a quick evaluation, your thoughts on Bo Nix in this game, and then we're going to go report card style. I want a grade from you. Albert, you've been kind of getting the short end of the sticks going around the horn, so I'm going to go to you first. Your evaluation of Bo Nix, your grade on Bo Nix, as we are already 23 minutes into a podcast. I got to get back into the Posse too.
And my grade for him would be, are we ranking on numerical or letters?
Report card style. We're doing letters here.
Okay. I would say a B+. There was one of the sacks that was not necessary, but other than that, I think he did really well. He was calm in the pocket. He tried to overcome a lot of those sacks. Yeah, to me, he did really well, and for me, it isn't. Yeah, B+, A-. In that category.
Ernie Mays is besting you, giving you an A for Bo Nix in his performance, but B+, A-. He's wavering a little bit, but that's where Albert Mile High Dutchy is. I'll get an outside perspective. I'll go to our guest, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick. How are you feeling about Bo Nix after you watch this game? How are you grading his performance?
I'm glad you asked, Keith, because after I remember before the season started and everybody was hyped up in preseason, I said, I need to see at least 6 weeks. Well, I saw at least 10 weeks. And I am on the Bo train now officially. I told Jody, so he's very happy. Woo-woo. Woo-hoo. I'm right with Albert. I got a B+ written down for him. And Albert alluded to it, that one sack really, where he lost, I think 17 yards it was on that one sack, that killed that any drive opportunity there with field position. Otherwise, he would have an A, because he made up for that, Dutchy, in that last drive. Yeah, it wasn't a touchdown, but he got the Broncos in a position to win with an extra point style field goal. So it would have been an A if it wasn't for that one play. But I got a B+ and a solid B+ from Bo Nix. And very excited for Bronco fans to see what this kid does in the future. So be happy, Broncos. I think you definitely have your quarterback for the future.
Awesome, man. Love the outside perspective and someone giving us some kudos, some love for our quarterback. I also want to give some kudos and some love to the Posse before I get over to Trevor. Got to give Rodney some big kudos. He's saying, good evening, guys. Coming over on YouTube. He says, sorry I'm late. Just got done crushing after the gym after this loss. Feeling better after squatting 285. Goodness
Keith, can we
gracious,
send this to
Rodney.
the Broncos so maybe they use Rodney on the line there instead of Alex Forsythe? If he's squat
Yeah.
285, he might have been able to stop those linemen barreling over Alex Forsythe.
No kidding. No kidding. Well, welcome, Rodney, and congratulations. Keep crushing it. Let us know when you hit 300 on that squat, man. I want to know, man. That's straight up killing it, man. Michael Ronquillo always killing it. He's also saying not having Quinn Bailey hurts right now because he was going to be the Broncos' special gadget offensive lineman this season, and probably on that offensive line, maybe Alex Forsythe isn't in that position. I got to get to a few more comments. I wanted to get to this one. Travis, I promise I might get up to your Marvin Mims question here in a bit. But our good friend Patrick Wiltsey of the Amazing Lion Coffee, just not that, but our amazing friend Patrick Wiltsey, coming in all the way from Hawaii, saying aloha, horseman, 5-5, and still on an upward trend in his
Aloha, Patrick.
Yeah, always good to see Patrick, man. I'm not rocking the Lion Coffee tonight. I got to slow up because that vanilla macadamia nut might just run out too quick if I keep that up.
It's out in my house.
It goes too quick. It goes way too quick. And our good friend Karen is just clicking in, and I didn't even see what this is all about, but I'm just going to put it up on the screen. Karen saying, "Good evening, all. It's clear the team still has work, but Bo outplayed Mahomes. We didn't score often enough, though, and that's a problem." That gets me right to Trevor's grade on Bo Nix. 14 points all in one quarter. Did look pretty good out there dealing. I'd like to know, Trevor, a little bit more harsher critic than some. What are your thoughts on Bo Nix? What's your report card grade?
Yeah, so I'm kind of right there where Kenny and Dutch you are. I would say I would give him a B right now, just because of those 16-yard sack that he took. That was really a drive killer. But he actually took 2 sacks in this game against Kansas City. If the play's not there, I would love Bo to just get rid of the football and find a way to do so, not take those big sacks. That's just huge drive killers in this one. But, man, he was the best player on the Broncos offense in this game, and he's been the highlight the last couple of weeks. I really love what I'm seeing from Bo Nix. He is progressing towards being that franchise guy. Not ready to say the franchise guy quite yet. We're 10 games in. Let's give him a little bit more time. But, man, he's really progressing each and every week and getting better and improving, and that's exactly what you want to see. He's passing the eye test, and he's putting up the numbers. It's exactly what you want to see from your rookie quarterback. Love seeing what Bo Nix is doing for the Denver Broncos team. He's the least of my worries when it comes to the Broncos offense right now.
You know what I love? I absolutely love the fact that, that we're all on the same basic page. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give Bo Nix a B, but every single one of us, none of us said, for a rookie quarterback, I'm going to give Bo Nix a B. For a rookie quarterback, I'm going to go ahead and give Bo Nix a B+, A-. No, we're talking straight up NFL quarterback playing against one of the top defenses in the league. We're talking about B's, B+, maybe an A-. Bo Nix is the real deal, and it feels dang good to just feel like you got a quarterback that is now out there, 10 weeks in and performing and dealing and doing it with the best of them. Great position to be in, Broncos country. It may have not been a win this Sunday, but boy, did we see a lot from Bo Nix and where he's at and where he's has the potential to go. Karen saying he's a franchise guy. To me, I like what I see, giving him an A- as well. I'm going to go ahead, and this is Bill's coming in over on YouTube. He's saying shutout in the second half. Not that one. Yeah. And he's also saying that's nonsense. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll go back around the horn the opposite way now. Trevor, Sean Payton. Sean Payton's the designer of this offense. He's in the ear of Bo Nix, but he's the one who's drawn up every single play. I want your analysis of Sean Payton in this game. I want your grade for Sean Payton in this game. Is it nonsense that we got shut out in the second half, as Bill's saying?
Yeah, it's nonsense. You got, shut out in the second half, but it's also 2 weeks in a row that you got shut out in the second half. And it's just a problem that this team is having to face right now. Again, you gave up a ton for Sean Payton. You're paying him a lot of money, $18 million a year, to help this offense get on the right track. Now, Bo Nix is on the right track. Now, is Sean Payton on the right track? Why is this offense not producing in the second half? It's the second week in a row against a good defense that this team isn't being able to perform. For me, I'm giving Sean Payton I'd probably give him a C minus. I'm in kind of right around that grade right now. I just, again, the first half, they're moving the football against Kansas City. They're running the football a little bit. I expect Kansas City to take your running game away a little bit. They're one of the top run defenses in the league, stopping the run. So it's just like you have to move the football. And the decision-making is still wish-washy sometimes with him. And it's like he's a veteran head coach. That shouldn't be wishy-washy. Be aggressive. You're an offensive play caller. Take that touchdown towards the end. And it's not only just that. It's just I don't understand why this offense just shuts down. They either start out hot and they shut down in the second half against good defenses, not against Carolina, not against the Saints, or they start off slow and then in the fourth quarter they start turning it on. It's never consistent throughout the game. And it's just a problem. You cannot let good teams like Kansas City stick around because your offense can't score. 24 points in 2 weeks is unacceptable when you're paying Sean Payton what you're paying him and what you had to pay to give up to get him. It's unacceptable. This offense cannot continue to be this bad. Your defense is playing lights out in this game, and they're out there throughout this year. Other than one game against Baltimore, your special teams really hasn't been too much of a problem this year. It's the offense. We go back to the offense. It seems like every week this offense has just not been consistent enough. I know you have a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix, but he's not the problem when it comes to this offense.
Whew, scathing words and a scathing grade from Trevor coming in with I'm going to give him the C minus, as scathing as I was. I'm not going to allow you to get away with that C that you originally C minus. That sounded C minus to me. Phil's coming in with an A plus, dropping another 100 stars, and he's saying, guys, in my opinion, it's play calling. We do good one half and then nothing. I said this before. The other team seems to always adjust better than we do. We won Sunday. Don't care about the score. How many deep throws did we attempt in the second half? Albert, I'm going to go to you, man. Phil's putting it all on those adjustments, the coaching. Where do you feel that Sean Payton comes in for a grade, and what's your brief analysis on him as well?
Yeah, I'm with Trevor. A C in that area. If you only can coach for one half, then you need to step down and let somebody else do the other half. If that is what you only can do, then step down and let somebody take over and let them do the play calling. We have seen in many games, one half we are useless. We are on offense. We are not performing anything. And the other half we are doing pretty good. We have pretty much seen it 4 or 5 games like that. And that needs to stop. We need to be a team that at least can play 3 quarters on offense. And we are not seeing that. And that needs to change. And Bo Nix, he outplayed Mahomes. We had more opportunities for scoring drives than the Chiefs had. And that matters to me as well. And I think most of it is because of Bo Nix and not because of the play calling.
Outperforming us, coach, says Trevor, says Albert Mile High Dutchy. I'm sorry. Giving kudos where I shouldn't. That was a good take, buddy. But I want to go over to Kenny's take, the outside perspective. Are you going to break the mold? We got a lot of C's, and which way are you going to go if you do? I'm a little bit worried.
I'm going to be a little surprised, Keith. I'm going a little higher than my fellow co-hosts tonight. I'm going solid B, and I'll tell you why. You want the last 2 weeks. I've been hearing Bronco fans. I've been hearing Kurt, my best friend and co-host on K&K. I've been hearing all you guys here. I've been hearing the posse, me included, open the playbook. Well, we saw a Philly special trick play for a touchdown. We saw Marvin Mims in the backfield this past week running the ball. We want more from Mims. We got more from Mims. And we wanted the tight ends involved. And we've seen the tight ends involved a little more the last 2 weeks. So the play calling is opening up. Are all those plays working? No, but you got what we wanted. the open in the playbook. Not scoring in the second half, I get that. But you know what? Once again, I sound like a broken record. Final drive, had a chance to beat the Chiefs. Everybody was on here, including myself, ready to come hang out with you guys and celebrate a victory because it was a 35-yard field goal and nobody thought it was going to be missed or blocked, which it was blocked. So I'm giving him a B. And for the last 2 weeks in the offense, I know they haven't scored, but the playbook's been opened up, and we're seeing more plays opening up each week. I like it. I like what I'm seeing. So a little higher grade for Sean Payton for me, and I know it's a big surprise to you and a lot of people.
Yeah. No, I don't think so, man. I'm right there with you, man. I'm going to mark down a B for what we've seen from Sean Payton as well. I was not upset with the play calling. Yeah, there's always one reverse that you're not happy with or something like that. There's going to be at least one play call, but honestly, to go up against the Kansas City Chiefs, to go up against one of the top defenses in the league and constantly put your team in position, remember, it was offsides. It was not being lined up, in the neutral zone. Thanks, Cortland Sutton, for an extra 5 yards on a field goal. There was opportunities out there that were kind of erased. 16. Well, at one point we had 2 sacks for over 30 yards from Bo Nix. Again, you're just not always going to be in the best position. But at the same time, I think that Sean Payton's out there dealing. And great point, Kenny. We've been asking, open up the playbook. There's been a lot of different looks that we've been seeing from Sean Payton in this offense. When you're rolling out the Philly special, there's an opening of the playbook, and that's something that we definitely saw. Got to get over to Teresa. This is a new name for me, Teresa Turner, over on YouTube, and saying, in football, you win or lose. Outperforming Mahomes means nothing when your team gets the L. And that, I agree, man. Teresa, you're absolutely right. It all really comes down to the wins and the losses. And Patrick Mahomes has been a guy that has been very beatable as far as going up against your quarterback versus Patrick Mahomes this year. Patrick Mahomes is not having a 400-yard game per season, 400 yards per game type of season. He's not putting up 4 touchdowns per game. That's not the type of game that they're going up against. But it is nice to know that your quarterback is capable of performing to that level. And I think that's one of the things that we're trying to take a little bit of solace in, even though there's an absolutely heartbreaking loss. Lots of comments coming in. Appreciate everyone that's dropping ideas, dropping thoughts, and I'm falling behind, so I apologize if I end up skipping, but I do got to give a big shout out to Morgan Trinkets. Morgan Trinkets is our fantastic sponsor of the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. Morgan Trinkets is your headquarters for Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, and Estate Gold at wholesale prices. I'm telling you what, I'm calling it 34 years experience in the business, there's nobody better. Right in your neck of the woods, Northern Colorado, Southern Wyoming, they've been doing shows all summer long, and now they're just at home, and they're just serving you up great deals in time for the holidays. Right now, your best bet, email morgantrinkets@aol.com. That's morgantrinkets@aol.com. They've had a little bit of issue with the websites and Facebooks and hacking and all that great stuff that happens to everybody every now and then. So check them out. If you're interested in any Southwest jewelry, any Southwest pottery, or Estate Gold at wholesale prices, I know she's got great sales going on, special sales just for you. So maybe mention that you came from the Denver Bronco Roundup in your email at morgantrinkets@aol.com. That's morgantrinkets@aol.com, and check them out. They are fantastic. I know there's been a lot of talk about this. We need to get rolling really quick, so we'll do this kind of rapid fire. I want to get Kenny, and I'll go around the horn. Kenny, Albert, Trevor. Kenny, your thoughts on Audric Estime, his performance this Sunday, and your grade for him?
Quick grade for him is going to be a solid B. He didn't play, he was the lead back there, 16 carries. He did what he was supposed to be, above average. He didn't have any breakthrough touchdowns. Otherwise, I'd give him an A. liked what I saw from him. Secure the ball, get you to 4 or 5 yards deep, those hard yards in the middle, and have a short third down. So I did like what I saw out of Audric Estime, and hopefully they use him a little more going forward.
Nice. Albert, it doesn't get much better than an A. I don't know where you're going to go for Audric Estime. Your thoughts, sir?
Oh,
I'll keep it with a solid B+. Yeah, he did well. I need to see more touches of him. Yeah, he's very fresh in the game. So, yeah, let's see what he does in the next couple games, and then I will grade him then. Yeah, we have not seen much of him, so yeah, solid B.
Solid B. A, solid B. I'd like to know where Trevor's coming in at. What are your thoughts on Audric Estime and his performance on Sunday?
yeah, I mean, again, short sample size, but it's good to see that he's getting the carries. I'm going to give him a B-. Also want to mention the offensive line, give the offensive line credit for those holes that Estime had, especially in the first half. There was wide open holes that he attacked, and he did well, but you have to give credit to the offensive line. They got push up front, start the game against Kansas City. So, he took advantage of it. He did great. Need to see more before I can give him a higher grade, but I think it's all B- for Audric Estime. Is a good grade for him. And we will, like Sean Payton has said, we're going to continue to see more of him going forward. So we should get a pretty good sample size of him this year, as long as he doesn't fumble.
Yeah. Sean Payton's not quick or is quick to have that hook, man. I tell you what, man, you're not out there making multiple mistakes, man. You make one mistake, you're probably heading over to the sidelines for a little bit. Estime got his chance, man. I loved what I saw. I got to represent our good friend Jody Moncrief. He even mentioned it way back in the comments. I'd love to try to find it, but I'm not going to. Audric Estime, I think, was an absolute beast. He went out there. He was finding holes when there wasn't holes as well, putting his nose in there, doesn't take negative yards. He gets involved in the running game. Heck, even on that last series, guys, when we were kind of chucking the ball around, trying to get downfield and get in position for that 35-yard field goal, it was Audric Estime that was out there carrying the load and picking up those blocks when need be. Audric Estime very well could be the future. I've been reluctant to say so. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give him a solid B+. I mean, there's always room for improvement, but a guy that carried almost 6-yard average until that last series when they're really trying to grind out and run out the clock at the very near end, that lowered his average down to that 3.8. He was busting off runs left and right, and loved what I saw. Excited to see what Audric Estime does in the future. I'll go back around the opposite way. Trevor, Marvin Mims carried the workload with 7 touches in this game, but it wasn't just through the air. He was back there in the backfield as well. I want to get your thoughts on Marvin Mims, his production on Sunday, and a grade for him.
I mean, I would say, again, probably C+ to B-. Again, I love seeing that Sean Payton is starting to involve Marvin Mims in this offense. I feel like that it's a year too late. I don't know why I didn't last year. Marvin Mims sitting on the sideline doesn't help anybody out. But I love seeing him get involved. I think, the jet sweeps, getting him involved in the running game. That's one of your fastest wide receivers. Definitely love seeing that. Hopefully going forward, we can continue to see Sean Payton get creative and continue to use Marvin Mims in that way. He's not just a deep ball threat. He can be used in many different ways, and it's great to see. Again, going to give kudos to Sean Payton for that, for getting Marvin Mims, involved in the offense. And I know Dutchie's mentioned it before too, so I want to give Dutchie credit as well. But C+, B-. Hopefully we see more. Can't happen 3 times a game. We see jet sweeps from Marvin Mims because that again defenses will adjust to that. But like seeing him get involved, regardless.
Yeah, find a way to get him touches. Trevor's the I never know what grade I'm getting teacher. C+, B-. Albert, what's your grade for one Marvin Mims?
C+. For me, it sometimes it just looks like the Marvin Mims wants to be too cute. Sometimes he just needs to be running straight through the lines and see where he gets. Oftentimes he doesn't use his speed optimum, and I think that's where he is lacking a little bit. Some kick returns, if he just gets in full speed, I think he might come, and sometimes he might come further along, and I think that's what we need to see.
Like to see him clear the line at full speed and see what he goes. See if he can burst through there, squirt through there, and get a little extra. Uses speed, a C+ from Mr. Albert Mile High Dutchy. What are you thinking, Kenny?
I love that we all have slightly different opinions on this. This makes a great show. I'm going solid B, Keith, and I'll make mine short and sweet. 7 touches, led the team in touches. Gives you guys, again, I sound like a broken record on all we complained about all year long. Gives the Broncos another weapon, and the defense is something to think about. And okay, those 7 touches maybe didn't go for touchdowns, but he was all around the field. He caught some passes and he ran some balls effectively and had the defenses thinking. So solid B for me, Keith.
Yeah, I'm going to be right there with you, buddy. I think that me and you are kind of hand in hand with Sean Payton and maybe the coaching that he did and the usage of one Marvin Mims, man. I like the fact that for weeks now we've been saying, where the heck is Marvin Mims? He's a top draft pick. He needs to get involved in this offense. Well, if you can't find a way to do it one way, find a way to do it another. You spent top draft capital on this guy. Marvin Mims now all of a sudden comes out there and starts getting big touches for you. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a B+ because I'm even more excited about where this could possibly go and evolve to beyond what we saw versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, I can't believe it. We're like 13 minutes through the show, and I've only got a few more things to go. I'll go ahead and I'll start with Kenny. Vance Joseph, man, he went from the Baltimore Ravens in a 41-10 loss to going up against one of the best in the league, undefeated team, Kansas City Chiefs, and holds them to a meager 16 points, only 1 touchdown. I really wanted to get your thoughts, man. At one point we're thinking VJ for the top candidate for possibly head coaching, and after the Baltimore run, we're maybe caught second guessing. What were your thoughts on VJ, what he did versus the Kansas City Chiefs, and your overall grade for VJ in this game?
I think I'm going to be a little different with everybody on this one too. I'm going C- on the defense.
Ooh.
Stop the run. Great job stopping the run. Okay. 59 yards rushing for the Chiefs the whole game. Amazing. Sacked Mahomes, I think, 4 times? Great job. Here's where it went bad. Gave up 100 yards to those running backs receiving between P. Ryan and Kareem Hunt. Gave up 8 catches to Kelsey and another 4 for Hopkins, over 100 yards there. The week before, I'm leaving out, but yeah, you stopped Mahomes with on the front of the line did good, but you need to adjust to those running backs. If he's checking down, you need to adjust to that. And over 100 yards receiving to the running backs, I don't like that. And Hopkins, okay, but you stop one guy on this offense, you beat the Chiefs, and that's Kelsey. 8 catches, you got to stop him. So I'm going a little low on the grade there, C-. I was not impressed with the overall Broncos defense besides the edge rushers and Zach Allen.
Getting back to the posse, I always have trouble keeping up and keeping on time, but Ernie Mays is coming in with a C+. Paul's coming in with an A+, and Scott's saying that McMillan looked lost and got burned more than once out there as far as he was concerned. Not sure the grade there, but what is your grade for one VJ, Albert Mile High Dutchy?
My grade for VJ is a B, a solid B. He did well. We only got Mahomes only got to go see the goal line once, and that is out of the ordinary for him. He always sees it at least twice a game, so that is really good. Yeah, Travis Kelce is always something to reckon with, and don't forget, they had some really good wide receivers there as well. There were so many weapons that they had to defend. They just got the Hopkins. So yeah, you have to spread the attention a little bit. So I think they did really well. They stopped the run because that would have been the biggest concern for me, and they did really well there. So yeah, B for me.
A B from the Dutchy himself. Trevor, we've been a little bit all over the board, especially if you start talking about the posse. We went from a A to a C minus. You got just about everything in between. Where are you going, buddy?
Yeah, we're going to make things a little bit more complicated again. A minus for me for this defense. 4 sacks and 9 quarterback hits. I don't think you can ask much more from this defense. Also had a chance, a couple turnovers. Zach Allen almost had an interception from Mahomes that definitely would have changed this game. The defense is far from this team's problem. This is this team's strength. It's been this team's strength all year. I know they had the Baltimore game. That's the one of the best, if not the best, offense in the NFL. So. Against Kansas City, they did fantastic, and I'm just not sure you can ask much more. The up front, the defensive line, the edge rushers, Nick Bonita was cooking, most of the day. And again, Zach Allen, Jonathan Cooper, VJ has just transformed his defense totally this year, and big reason why the Broncos are even, in the conversation to be in the playoffs this year. But in this game, I mean, I don't think you could ask much more. For me, it's an A minus for VJ in this defense.
I'll make it simple. I'll double up on that. I'll say A minus as well. I think that was a great game plan. I could probably sit there and come up with a different grade or somewhere in between, but I'll just go ahead and I'll duplicate that, man. I'll be the cheating teacher, I guess. That being said, I cheated off of Trevor. I'll give him an A minus. I like the bounce back after what we saw versus Baltimore. Hats off to them. Like I said, there's a lot I wanted to get to. Trevor, maybe we'll just go really quickly. I want a defensive player that got an A grade for you. Give me an A grade player, and we'll see if we can make it all the way around the horn.
So you said on defense or just
on defense?
Okay.
Defensive player you give an A grade to.
Nick Bonito, 3 quarterback hits, 1 sack, and again, he was just a problem for that tackle he was going up against. Can't remember his name right now off the top of my head, but he was a problem with him all day, and they had a double team him at times, try to chip him a couple times. Love what Jonathan Cooper and Zach Allen are doing. Even John Franklin Myers, have to mention him in this as well. But Nick Bonito was fantastic in this one and leads this team in sacks now with 7.
There you go. Benito for Trevor. Good nomination. Albert, who are you going with for an A grade on the defense?
Yeah, I'm debating between 2. I would say Justin Stannard. What he did there up the middle, and I think that was phenomenal as well. So for me, it is Justin Stannard.
Very good, man. Like giving a little bit of linebacker love right there in the middle to one Justin Sternad from Albert Mile High Dutchie. Kenny, what are your thoughts, buddy?
I got a 1 and 1A, so it's the first time I think I'm agreeing with Trevor tonight with Bonito, but I'll give you my 1A is Zach Allen. He got a sack as well, but also clogged that hole. And what I said where the Broncos did poor with the receiving yards for the rushing, they only allowed 59 yards rushing to Kareem Hunt and the rest of the Chiefs. So Zach Allen was a big part of that in the middle. And I'll give Zach Allen the A.
All right. I'll give my A to a guy that was all over the field, paired up against Travis Kelce, and is our leading tackler now for the Denver Broncos. I'll give it to one Brandon Jones. I think he's definitely stepped up there at safety and deserved the A in this game. Hey, Travis Kelce is going to be a tough matchup no matter who you are. I thought he did a fantastic job out there. So Brandon Jones gets my A on defense. All right. Like I said, we're up against it. We got like 5 minutes left. Might have to just go a little bit over, but I think we'll be able to get through almost everything. Trevor, I'm going to kick this one off from you. Just overall star of the game, and everyone can have the same answer if it comes right down to it. Who are you giving the star to in this game? Who are you giving the golden horseshoe to?
Just an overall, just offensively.
Yeah, overall. And then we'll have our disappointment as well.
I'm going to go Vance Joseph. I think Vance Joseph gave you a chance to win in a big game on the road against Kansas City, the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is no easy animal to stop. Even when he's hurt, he's still scrambling, stepping up in the pocket. Not easy to bring down. Nick Bonito almost had another sack in this game that Mahomes got away from as well. So I think Vance Joseph was just fantastic in this one. Again, like you said, Keith, a great bounce back game for this Denver Broncos defense. You couldn't ask for more, in my opinion.
Very good. Star goes out to VJ from one Trevor Salzman, the Rocket Man himself. Albert, your thoughts, man? Who is your star going to?
I think it is going for me. It's going to the O line. They made it happen for Bo Nix. He had a lot of times he had a good time in the pocket and he could handle it well because the Chiefs' defense is not one that you should mitigate. They're very, very stout as well. So I think the O-line had deserves kudos there as well.
All right, buddy. I dare go around. I'm waiting till last. Kenny Kirkpatrick, what do you think? And who is your star of the game?
I'm going to give you a player, Keith. And I see Kurt Valenti's in the chat. And for those who don't know, Kurt Valenti, biggest Bronco fan in New Jersey and my best friend. So, Kurt, you're hearing it from me. Bo Nix, star of the game. 22 for 30. Goes into Arrowhead first. Environment. First time ever playing in Arrowhead. Kurt nailed it. 215 yards, 0 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. That pass to Sutton, guys, you got your number 1 wide receiver. You just need you build off that. Cortland Sutton's getting touchdowns every week. I know he had a couple drops last week, but he came right back this week with a big touchdown. And that pass from Bo was pretty darn good. So give me Bo Nix as the star of the game. And I told Kurt, you weren't on earlier, I'm on the Bo train. So woo, let's go. The train is here. Bo Nix, let's go. And for those who don't know, Kurt and Jen, they got a little puppy and they named him Bo.
And it's the cutest dang puppy you'll ever see, man. You gotta check out what they got going on over there at K&K Sports Show. Not just for the puppies, but for all the fantastic shows they got going on as well. And a great Broncos show that goes on every Wednesday, the main K&K Sports Show. I love it so dang much. I'm always trying to tune in. Thank you, Kurt, for coming in, and obviously Kenny for co-hosting this
and I
this
forgot
evening.
one minor thing, Keith. One major thing about Bo Nix. And the third time I'm saying it tonight. Drove the Broncos down for a chance to win the game, which everybody thought the game was over. 35-yard field goal out of your rookie quarterback in that environment. Star of the game. It'll never show on the record book, but Bo Nix 1, Pat Mahomes 0.
Well, Kenny, we haven't been into an agreement a ton here, but man, I'll tell you what, I'm in agreement with you. Bo Nix, score a touchdown, eat a Rice Krispies treat. That's right, man. Bo Nix is my guy, man, right there, man. He's my star of the game, man. Went out there, like you said, the crowd, the noise, what he has to put up with. He's a rookie quarterback. He's going out there. He's dealing. I think he did a fantastic job. We got our franchise guy. Star of the game has got to be Bo Nix. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to skip over disappointment, man. We've already had enough of disappointment when it comes to everything that came with this game, right? I'll get my Rice Krispie treat down my throat.
And we all know who it is going to be.
Well, that might be that as well. The disappointment might all go towards one guy. So that being said, I'm going to skip to the very last thing that we had on the agenda. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Hey, Posse, I want you to jump in as well. I know that we had a strong answer when I put the agenda out, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kick it off with our good friend, our guest that's been with us this evening. Sometimes he's the host of this show, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick, the stepfather himself. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Kenny, I want your thoughts from an outside perspective, man. Are we pretenders or are we contenders as the Denver Broncos sitting here at 5-5, going up against the Atlanta Falcons? What are your thoughts, man?
Not pretender, contender with a C. Right now, you're 5-5. I looked at the schedule, and we don't have any time to break down the schedule. But I will go bold prediction, not even bold. I'm going to say my prediction for the Broncos going forward: 5-2, final 7 games get you to 10-7, get you into the playoffs, probably anywhere from a 5 to 7 seed, and you are not just contenders. I think you got a good chance of possibly winning a game against a 6 or 7 seed. You know, wherever you're seated, again, whoever you're playing in that first round, a chance of winning. So look bright side here, Bronco fans. I think you're going places, and I think it'll start this year. This team's going to get a lot of experience getting a playoff game.
Running it backwards in the comments, Roy's saying, I'm in between on that right now. Phil's coming in. He's saying contenders. Ernie Mays coming in with contenders. Paul's just saying you're the step godfather as well, man, by the way, Kenny. And Albert, I dare even ask, man, pretenders, contenders, what are your thoughts, man?
We are going to be in the Super Bowl, and we're going to play for the Super Bowl. We are going to fight for the Super Bowl in the AFL.
AFC.
Yeah, that one.
That one.
Yeah,
that's a whole lot of Rice Krispie treats between now and then, man. That's a whole lot of Rice
giant ones. One of those giant ones you see at like the sweet stores in the mall. One of those giant Rice Krispie treats. Yeah. A lot of sharing with that treat.
Boy, contenders and strong. Saying we're Super Bowl bound. Look out, says Albert Mile High Dutchy. But I want to get Trevor's thoughts too, man. Trevor, pretenders, contenders. Where do you see the Broncos at 5-5? Welcome in the Atlanta Falcons. We'll be talking about that more on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, they have a chance. I'm like Roy. I'm kind of in between right now because of the offense. The offense has, some stepping up to do. You can't be scoring this, 10 points a game and expect to be winning football games going forward. It's just unacceptable. The defense is definitely playoff bound. They can definitely step up and deliver. Now, where's the offense at? We've got to see that offense continue to take strides in the right direction. They have, I think the schedule going forward is definitely there for, favorable for them to make the playoffs. But we shall see what they can do. I'm right in the middle kind of right now. But again, the reason why the Broncos even have a chance right now, not only just because of how they played, but how bad the AFC has been, the Colts, the Dolphins, all these other teams, how poorly they've played this year, may also give Denver a little bit of a boost this year and get in the playoffs. The playoffs started today. They'd be the 7th seed and they'd be in the playoffs. So, I think that I'm again right in between, right in the middle. Need to see a little bit more of a sample size. And this offense, I think if this offense gets going, they are a playoff team.
Very good, man. Contenders. But, man, I tell you what, this Atlanta Falcons game is going to be so big. So big. We're right there on the borderline. Right now we got what? The Bengals chomping on our heels, and we got the Indianapolis Colts chomping on our heels. We got to make sure that believe it or not, the Chargers we're going to be rooting for versus the Bengals in order to maybe try to keep the Bengals a little bit further behind us. That being said, the Atlanta Falcons game is going to be huge for the Broncos and their playoff chances. Right now, contenders, and they're playing like contenders. Now, whether the schedule matches up, whether the games play out, the whole 9 yards, man, I'm telling you what, contenders is what I'm seeing just in the passion that the Broncos are bringing to the field, man. Tell you what, a lot of passion right here from our fans, including, and I'll just give one last shout out. Mr. Michael Ronquillo jumping in here. He's dropping stars as we're getting out of here. Another 100 stars and saying, great show tonight. Keith, Albert, Trevor, and Kenny, and go Bo Broncos. Thank you so much, Michael, and all those the posse members that come in here and support us and continue to show us love and continue to share what we do and continue to like what we bring to the screen and love Albert and love Trevor and love it when we can bring in Kenny Kirkpatrick. And he's not here tonight, but Jody the judge, he's always in here rocking. We appreciate you guys loving us all, sharing us all, getting out there in front of Broncos country. By the way, talked to former Denver Bronco and Super Bowl winner Glenn Cadrez. He says, yeah, I'm coming back on. I'll drop that date a little bit later, but right now we got to get out of here. I'm going to start with our good friend, the Godfather, the God stepfather himself. Now they got me all stepping over myself. Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick, thank you so much, man, for being here this evening. And I'm going to want to get some final words from you. I'll go all the way around the horn like I see it on the screen, sir.
Well, guys, thank you for letting me join you guys tonight. Always a pleasure. In my closing thoughts, I'm going to give you a little prediction of Friday since I won't be with you guys Friday. Broncos lost the last 2. Falcons game is going to be your get-right game. This is going to be best game you've seen, bold prediction, best game you've seen out of the Broncos offense all year. Okay. You're going to be scoring, and Trevor's going to come on and be very happy next week. And I know you hope I'm right, Trevor. I think this game's going to be 31-20 Broncos. Bo Nix, 3 touchdowns. Estime continues to do what he does. You're going to see more Mims. Tight ends are going to be more involved. One guy on defense that's going to be a pest. You're going to stop the run. You're going to stop Bijan Robinson. And I hate that for my fantasy team, by the way, because I need Bijan Robinson. But Drake London, Surtain, lock it up on him. Pitts is going to be the guy I'm worried about in this game if I'm a Bronco fan. That's going to be the guy. We saw what Kelsey did, 8 catches. Pitts can do the same. But I think Broncos are going to be very happy with this outcome. Cousins is a pocket passer. Broncos are going to get to him. 6 or 7 sacks. Give me a 31-20. And Ms. Pearl was asking earlier, I wrote to her in the comments, check out Kurt tomorrow. He's bringing the Broncos show back after a couple weeks off with the new puppy and the high school show having to be on Wednesdays. But he'll be back tomorrow giving his East Coast style Broncos show, 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. But once again, guys, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure, and love talking Broncos with everybody here.
Absolutely, man. Love having you, Kenny. Got to check out Kurt of what he's got going on for Let's Talk Broncos, but just in general, everything they got going on over the K&K Sports Show, Wits and Wagers, and the K&K Sports Show, Let's Talk Broncos. Man, you just guys got all in high school sports, numerous shows when it comes to that. You guys are rocking it over there. Love you guys so much. Appreciate you guys so much. And Kenny, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. And I forgot, can I give a real quick shout out to one of our good friends and fellow coach of mine when I coach, Coach Joe Breslin, state playoffs, New Jersey. Go get that title. They're playing for the sectional title tomorrow. They win that, they go to the state championship. Ramapo High School in Oradell, New Jersey.
Go, Coach Breslin. Go, Ramapo. We're all pulling for you, man. Over here on the west side of the United States. Albert, I'm always pulling for you to come in here and close us out with some great thoughts, man. What do you got for us?
We're going to conquer the Falcons. We're going to pluck some feathers. So it's going to be 31-14. And that is my prediction for the game because I'm not on there on Friday night. And yeah, the posse was on fire tonight, and I really loved it. And all the comments and the gradings, yeah, people keep it up because we really love that. And I want to thank Paul, Scott, Michelle, Ernie, Roy, Graham, Michael, Pearl, Phil, Mark, Travis, Jeremy, Clayton, Rodney, Patrick, Karen, and 2 new names that I have not seen before was Bill Quantrill and Teresa Turner, Jody, and Kurt. Thank you for all being on the show. I really appreciate it, and it makes it so nice for us. Thank you.
Man, we love our posse, man, and we love Albert. Appreciate you coming in here, man. Great thoughts this evening, and always appreciate the insight from the Albert, the Mile High Dutchie, just like the Rocket Man Salzman. Rocket Man, help me get out of here.
Yeah, again, I just want to mention really quickly, when I think we need to pay respect to Mr. Justin Simmons coming and returning back to Denver as well. Another former Denver Bronco coming back to Denver. So it's going to be good to see him, and hopefully everything's going well with him, on and off the field. But I just want to thank everybody tonight for just, again, being awesome. Everybody in the posse, again, keep your head up. This is a long season. I know it was a tough loss. It was a tough pill to swallow on Sunday, but keep your head up. Long season to go. And a lot of different things can happen week to week. So keep your head up, and hope everybody has a great week. We'll see you back on Friday. And as always, go Broncos.
Phil's helping me keep my head up, man. He's dropping stars left and right even as we're getting out of here. Dropping knowledge, too. He says Bo is the first rookie quarterback to throw 10-plus touchdowns in a season since Marlon Briscoe. Man, appreciate it, Phil, man. That's a one way to keep your head up, man. We got that quarterback, man. We're feeling good. We know where we're going. We got to put the pieces and parts around it, but man, does it look good. And when you're out there and you're putting up, stats like that, you know you're doing the right thing. Phil, thank you so very much. I appreciate you coming in here, dropping stars. All those names that our good friend Albert Mile High Dutchie just rattled off, and all those viewers that maybe we didn't even mention, thank you so very much. Maybe you're listening after the fact. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and share this with all their friends, man. We really appreciate it. We go live every Tuesday, every Friday, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Just like you're watching right now, this is our Tuesday show, Friday show, and then always right after the game, we have a post-game reaction. We'd love to have you there. Thank you to everybody that's been a part of the show. Kenny, thank you so very much. Albert Mile High Dutchie, Trevor, the Rocker Mountain Salzman. We got to get out of here. We went extra long mainly because of you, because you guys rocked it. I couldn't get to all the comments, but I'll tell you what, jump back in here. We'll try to get to you next time. Until Friday, make sure you have a fantastic week. Keep your feet in the stirrups. Keep your guns in the holsters. And as always, keep the Denver Broncos in your heart. We're going to get out of here. Mile High salute. Have a great week, everybody.